or other law enforcement agencies. Honorable members, finally, that this House is insisting that only elected people, only elected individuals are permitted to run or manage the affairs of the 23 local government councils in Rivers State.
Okay, so you just heard the voice of Martin Amewule, who is one of the factional speakers as we have in Rivers State. And I say factional because we're waiting for the courts, or waiting on the courts to come up with a judgment or a verdict as to our political situation. And we will be looking at the call for the arrest of caretaker committee chairman. The call was made during plenary by the 27 yesterday. They called on the police to arrest them because they said that the Supreme Court has given a verdict or a pronouncement that CTCs are illegal. So that means that these people are perpetrating illegality and must be arrested by the police. Now, they went further to say that, the media, generally people should not recognize the CTCs. However, we cannot ignore the fact that monies are being spent by the CTCs. We cannot ignore the fact that the state government is working hands in glove with the CTCs. So we will talk about it. And joining me to have this conversation this Lord's Day is Liborous Oshoma, Esquire, a lawyer and a socio-political commentator, or you can even add economic commentator as well. Thank you for joining me, Barrister Oshoma. It's good to have you.
Yeah, my pleasure. Thank you.
All right. So, first question. Can the police arrest the CTC chairman, given that it is the duty and function of the police to arrest anybody flouting the Constitution?
What offense have they committed to be so arrested? That's the question. Have they committed any offense?
Oh, interesting.
Have they been if the court had said that the local government, a governor has no right to impose caretaker committee at the local government level, and the governor has done that. What the court didn't say anybody so imposed should be arrested. And when you say you should arrest the local government chairman, what that means? You are saying that the governor can be arrested. Can the governor be arrested? The answer is no. The governor has immunity. It is the governor who took that decision, who appointed them. Now that the court has said no, Mr. Governor, you have no such power to so do. What the governors will do, and there is a consequence for that, as spelled out by the same court, to say anybody that does that, the consequence is that their allocation should be withheld. And so, having done that, what the federal government would do is to withhold allocation. And then what the governor would also do is to ensure that there's compliance by conducting local government elections. So asking for the arrest of those people appointed by the governor, for me, is a call to anarchy. It's a call to chaos and should not be encouraged by anybody. They have not committed any offense to warrant an arrest.
Okay, now, please, tutor me, educate me. The part of the responsibility of the police is to, one, maintain public order and safeguard properties. Another is to enforce the law. And so people who flout the law are made to, pay one way or the other using the police sometimes. Is this not one of such situations?
No, it is not in every violation that an arrest is the consequence. Yeah, like I said, take for example, I want to give you an instance.
Okay.
Take for example, the Constitution clearly spells out that there is you have a right. The Constitution says you have a right to to own property. At the same time, the Constitution also limits the right to own that property. The Constitution says that the governor shall not remove local government elected officials by fiat. The local government administration, the House of Assembly made laws. Those laws empowering governors to remove local government administrators. And so what you have is a conflict of two laws. And the Supreme Court now came and said, no, those laws that were made in violation of the Constitution are to the extent of incompetency, null and void. And so to that extent, anybody occupying that office is a usurper of the powers. So the people that are still holding that office and not holding that office on their own, to say, if the governor had come now and said, okay, now since the Constitution had made the Supreme Court had made a declaration, and so being the governor that appointed them, I hereby also ask them to vacate, and they now say they will not vacate the office. That's when you say, well, here offense has been committed. But as it is, because the court only interpreted the position of the law, and the governor, who is supposed to execute, who is executive, who is supposed to execute that law, is taking time by leaving those people there. Who do you hold responsible? Is it the man who appointed them and led them there, or the people who are still there at the behest of the chief executive, the man who executed the law? So it's a very thin line. People need to understand this. The people are not there on their own. Somebody appointed them. They are not there on their own. So somebody appointed them there. The person that appointed them there, if you feel the person has violated the Constitution, can he be arrested? The answer is no. The person cannot be arrested. It is not as if even occupying the office in itself is a crime or a breach of somebody's right. To say, oh, this will lead to breach of public peace, and so there is protest. It is the protest that led to disturbance of public peace. And so these people, they are occupying office. Say, for example, the former chairman whose tenure had expired, and the people said, the House of Assembly said, no, we extend your tenure. The court says you cannot extend their tenure. The governor was supposed to conduct a local government election. He didn't conduct it. Because of the law that we practice, the powers of the governor went ahead and appointed caretaker committee. And the court now has said, no, you have no such powers. So, and what the court now also did was to give to the interpretation to bite. They now make consequential orders empowering the federal government to punish by withholding the money meant for that local government. That is punishment. So those people also, those local governments also have already been punished. Failure to conduct local government election, they are already suffering.
Okay.
So if you not arrest them, is that not double jeopardy to drive the point home? They are being punished already by withholding the allocation. They can't function. So those people occupying the office are already just occupying the office as the behest of the governor because of ego.
Okay. All right. I do not know if you are aware of a High Court judgment restricting INEC from transmitting or giving or relaying the voters registered to the State Independent Electoral Commission, which means
pending what?
Pending the determination. It was an ex parte order, an interim order, pending the determination of that suit. Okay, so now the point is there is now some sort of halting of the process to conducting local government elections. Can we then argue some legal argument on behalf of the CTCs to say there is no vacuum in governance? Someone has to fill in that space.
There is no vacuum in governance. The people that can legally occupy those seats are the directors at the local government, or they are permanent secretaries or secretary to the council, administrative head of the council, as the case may be. But in further violation of the provisions of the Constitution, 21 governors, now 20, because Delta State just recently conducted local government election also, and they have gone ahead to swear in their council chairman. So 20 states now. So are we going to say arrest all the local government chairman, caretaker committees in the 20 states? Is anybody calling for that? So why single out only Rivers State? Then secondly, an expatriate order usually is for a specific time, not more than 7 days, maximum 14 days. So if there are questions submitted for determination, the validity or otherwise for the members of the state electoral committee, if those members of the state electoral committees are cleared by a 3-man house in violation of Section 91 of the Constitution, and then somebody is challenging it that the house that cleared them is not a house properly so-called, and so to that extent, documents should not be released to them, pending the determination of whether it truly is independent, it can be called an independent body. Then you can say, yes, truly, that argument is valid until the court determines the propriety or otherwise of those persons. But what that also means is that the conduct of local government election in the state, it will be a long time coming. It will be a long thing to achieve. But in the meantime, since there are no local government chairmen, the caretaker committee cannot be imposed because there is no vacuum in office. The administrative secretaries or administrative head of such local government, for the interim, because we have a very peculiar case now, for the interim, we had those local government offices. So there is no vacuum really, because you see how people heading it. Those people will head the local government office so that they can get their funds that is coming from federal government as at when due. Interesting.
So now, for academic purposes now, this question, so we don't play court or play judge, is the governor committing an impeachable offense to continue to fund the CTCs? Because you have said that the CTCs, the persons occupying those positions cannot be arrested. I mean, all 20 state government and local government, you can arrest all of them, right? And so, moreover, the governor has got immunity. So, is this an impeachable offense?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. You see, here, our governors abuse appropriation laws with impunity. And then when we talk about impeachment, people will say that shouldn't be the only way out. Consistent spending of money without appropriation is an impeachable offense. Spending of funds on local government, despite the fact that the court has heard that those local government councils should not be headed by caretaker committee, also is an impeachable offense. And what I would have expected, like I had consistently advocated, is for both parties, leave the politicians in Abuja. It's about Rivers State. The governor also is about Rivers State. Let the governor also leave those spanning the ego and the embers. And then let him call his friends and brothers, the members, Amehule and Co, into a room. Let them lock their door and say, if we don't resolve this thing today, none of us will come out. Leave Wiki, leave whoever is supporting the government, House of Assembly members, leave Wiki out of this. It is for the betterment and for the future of the state. Let them sit down and agree to disagree.
Okay.
Otherwise, this idea of consistently, spending funds, using a 3-man House of Assembly when you could have the full complement of the House of Assembly.
I've got a commercial, so let me But I still have Liborous Oshoma, lawyer, socio-political commentator, is a Lagos-based lawyer, I shall add. And we are talking about the situation in River State where there is the call for the arrest of the caretaker committee chairman by the 27, the other faction of the House of Assembly in River State. Welcome back, Barrister Oshoma. Can you hear me?
Yeah, thank you, Canada.
So just before the break, you were telling us how this can be settled, and you were saying a political solution would be best because of the duration it will take to follow the legal route.
Implications of all of these things. I think the best thing for them is to involve the political solution to this, because if you keep waiting for the court to determine these issues, at the end of the day, you are going to consistently have, back and forth, and both parties can shield their sword and, throw away their pride for the sake and betterment of the state. They all were once brothers and sisters, and once ate and dined together. I've said this long before now. It's a give and take thing. When two incompatible meet, you can coexist by agreeing to agree and agreeing to disagree. Right. And then for me, the people that are fanning the embers, should remember that these people are not quarreling. They are all friends. One day, when they attend each other's ceremony, they attend each other's ceremony, and it is the governance of the state that is suffering. You see, let's look at it from this perspective. Like I said, we shouldn't shy away from this thing. These are impeachable offenses that nobody should shy away from. These are impeachable offenses that nobody should shy away from. And so, when you commit these infractions, and at the end of the day, somebody talk about impeachment, you have already prepared the ground for people who want your head to have reason to. If tomorrow, the Supreme Court now rules that the 24 or 27 lawmakers are the authentic lawmakers of the State House of Assembly, for example, wouldn't the governor have given them more than enough reason to begin impeachment proceedings against him? Even though the court had ruled that, what amount of gross misconduct by virtue of subsection 11 of section 180, even though it is left within the purview of the Speaker or the House of Assembly, there are some things that are very glaring. Spending money without appropriation, no court will tell you that it is not strong enough to amount to gross misconduct. Also in the same vein, what if tomorrow the court rules that these 27 lawmakers or 24 lawmakers are no more members of the State House of Assembly? Wouldn't these lawmakers have fought for nothing and then just support a godfather for nothing? And so that is why I think that both parties should sit down, find a political solution to their problem. This ego tripping will not save it out of them, because at the end of the day, and then also, the government will consistently be distracted. It will have to be looking across the shoulder. Forget the the people that will consistently say, "Don't worry, we are with you. We are with you. We are all fully behind you." At times will come that these same people, once the game changes, whoever is with you will tell you that a new cook is in the kitchen. All these House of Assembly members, if tomorrow the court says, you are not more House of Assembly members, the supporters will automatically will go. Hunger will be the next name of the game, including the governor. If tomorrow anything happens and is successfully impeached and we know impeach the government, they will tell you go to court. And whilst you are in court, there is only a limit to how much people can support you. After some time, they will begin to say, boy, I'm this time get my own problem. So that's why, over time, wisdom should be allowed to prevail.
All right.
And let parties sit down and resolve their differences. Leave out Wike, leave out whoever is supported. And also, Wike should be advised consistently. Cannot sit down in Abuja and be planning embers of war. In Rivers State, there's a need to give and take. Wike will not take this from anybody as a governor. So he shouldn't also, what you know you can't take, you shouldn't give what you can't take. What he knows he can't take, he shouldn't try to force it down the throat of some other person. That's basically what I'm saying.
Okay. Now someone is asking a question. It says, see, I've been learning a lot since the political crisis started. Today I learned the fact that it is not all illegality that warrants arrest, and the governor can send someone to commit illegality without being arrested because he was sent by a governor. So I want you to clarify. Yeah, that's why I'm throwing this at you so you can clarify.
People should not
misconstrue
into what. See, what I am explaining to you is, in this case here, in what has been done here, the punishment for the action has already been carried out by the federal government. And what is the punishment for the action? Denial of access to the funds meant for the local government. So, what the people now need to do is not to arrest whoever the governor has put there. It's not the solution. The people, what they need to do is to break down the neck of the so-called House of Assembly members and the account.
Okay.
Because we do not have local government elected officers. And so the punishment has been measured out. Okay, now you say illegality committed by the governor, not the people that he has used, that he has appointed there. But it's the governor, but can you arrest the governor?
But are they liable? Because, for instance, if I send someone to go kill another person,
this is not an offense where you have killed somebody.
Okay, I get you now. Okay.
This is a declaration.
Okay.
Look, when a court makes a declaration per se that this act is illegal, this act you have done is illegal, the court did not say what you have done is you have committed an offense. So we should understand this. The action of occupying an office that you ought not to occupy is illegal. So you should not be given recognition. That is not an offense where you say, go and arrest him. There are procedures for the consequences for such an action. I don't know. Let me I use pidgin English explain them so that people will understand. Look, you say, what do you call it now? I be lawyer. I be lawyer. I suppose the head of chambers. I believe that the head of chambers. The court now say, I never reached 10 years at the bar. So since I never reached 10 years at the bar, I know to be head of chambers for Manuchi chambers, OCG Okucha chambers. And so what did that mean? We say every act when I carry out subsequently, make them not recognize them as head of chambers. Anyway, I put my name as head of chambers, make them not recognize them. It not means say, because the court don't declare, say, this is not the person who will be head of chamber. It not mean say me when still sit down there say I know will come out as head of chamber. It not mean say they will come now and go arrest me. Because you see here everything I would against arrest.
All right.
No.
All right.
What it means is that every act that you carried out would not be recognized by law. There's already a consequences for it.
So every act carried out by the CTCs are not recognized by law. That's what you're saying?
Yes, they're not recognized by law. That is what it means. So since the Supreme Court has said, the Supreme Court even went further, like I said, to say any local government without duly elected local government chairman, allocation should not be released to them.
All right.
So what it means is that on the 20, that is why you see so many local governments now are racing to conduct local government elections. That is why in some cases, the local government chairman, what they did, what some governors stylishly did, was not to name their local government chairman. They now call them licensing officers. They are like special advisors to the governor who are liaising between the governor and the local government office. So they now say the secretary. The secretary is the head. At least is the admin head. But this caretaker committee that they appointed, they say they are licensing officers. So you see where the pass from now.
Yeah.
The person an SA to the governor on liaising with local government. So with that, they have not committed any infraction.
All right.
But we still pay them salary.
All right. My final question now, we'll have to go back to the police. Now, the police is caught between the crossfire. And, if you remember, over 1 month ago, they had to take over the local government secretariats. They're still occupying the local government secretariats. What should be the move by the police in all of this? Because now one side is saying go and arrest. If they don't arrest, that side will call them bias. Already, the other side is calling them bias for the continued occupation of the local government secretariat. So what should be the move of the police? Yeah, talk.
The last time I had said it, that the local government, the police, continued occupation of the local government offices in Rivers State without occupying local government offices in other states where elections are not being conducted. For me, it's unfair to the to the government of Rivers State.
Okay.
Because it's like you single them out. But the police also have come out to say the peculiar nature of local government is that you have two factions laying claim to one office. You have one faction saying our tenure has been extended. We are not going to leave. We will remain there. And then they have foot soldiers who are claiming that they are going to support them to remain there. And then you have another faction who are saying we have been duly appointed as caretaker committee. And then another foot soldier saying we are going to help them to remain in that office. That in such a scenario, they envisage a likelihood of breakdown of law and order if they allow these two factions to clash. Which brings me back to the issues of the crisis where both parties, because they don't want to shade their sword, they allow strangers to take over their land.
All right.
If you shade your sword, police will not be an arbiter in your matter. Police will not come and say because you are fighting, I take over your secretariat. And governance cannot go on smoothly. So what that should mean now is let there be haste to conduct local government office election. With that, you can now say yes, the police now we have duly elected. But that also is not it's far-reaching because of the crisis of the people appointed, are they duly appointed? Was it with the full complement of the State House of Assembly as recognized by Section 91? And all of this. So Rivers State, until the people themselves call on both the governor and the House of Assembly members to sheathe their sword and blow their lines and work together, we now go see the governance far from now these next 4 years.
All right, let's take some calls quickly and some messages. Let's see. Melody Uniport says to me, the Amewule's house is just catching fun to console their self-inflicted wounds. My people say no matter how a child cries and shouts, he cannot touch his father's scrotum as he wishes. The child can only touch his mother's. So no matter how Amewule shouts, he can't give what he doesn't have. Even the Supreme Court that gave the judgment didn't ask you to arrest anybody. So if you arrest them, who will you put? Only your group say arrest them. Only you went to court to stop election. What exactly do you want? If Amewule is so pained, let him go and arrest them himself. Too much of everything is bad. Until the constitution is amended, the governors still have windows in the constitution to stand on and run and fund LGA caretakers, if you say so. But this one says the Supreme Court judgment on local government autonomy have indeed disorganized the activities of the caretaker committee chairman. The governor can fund them because it is an impeachable offense. Darlington Ogbona with that one. This one says, inasmuch as the Supreme Court has annulled CTC, River State is not the only state with CTC, and the process for local government election is in the process. The law did not provide a lacuna, so there cannot be a lacuna. The CTC will be there till October, when there will be election for elected council chairman. Mind you, these CTC were existing before the Supreme Court judgment. Therefore, everything has a process. Even the National Assembly is still amending the aspect of the Constitution to be effective on the local government autonomy from ECTA. I don't know about any amendment. I stand to be corrected. But this one says, in view of the Supreme Court case in River State, LGA...
That's not true. Quickly.
Yeah, quickly.
No,
yeah.
That's not true.
Okay.
That's not true.
So there's no amendment.
It is not true that, there should be a process. In the first place, once, let me tell you, it is like you say a governor was already in office, and so because he has been sacked, there's a process for him to leave the office. Once he's sacked immediately. Once an act is declared illegal, null and void, it is null and void immediately.
All right.
And not so you have to say, okay, no, it's been declared null and void, but let them remain there until whenever. What that means, that will mean an undermining of the pronouncement of the Supreme Court. So let's not encourage it. Yes, we agree they are not the only state. That is why the court says every state that is parading a caretaker committee, allocation should not be released to them. So you can now say, what if another state comes and says, okay, they are already there, we'll conduct election in June next year. So they were already there before this judgment, so let's just continue. No,
right.
Now,
right.
We shouldn't, laws are not made that way.
All right. This one says, in view of the Supreme Court case in River State, LGA, it is appropriate for the governor to hand over administration to the most senior person in the council so that allocations from the federal government would be paid instead of financing caretakers with state funds. This one says, Martin Amola and his co-travelers are still slumbering and still in oblivion. Their legitimacy have been challenged, and until a court of competent jurisdiction says otherwise, they remain embattled. Damete Rokosima. All right, entirely your opinion. This one says, I want to ask your guest if those calling for the police to arrest the CTC chairman in River State, are they the rightful assembly members? Bakata from Uzwa community. You want to quickly touch on that? I think you've touched on it before, but I'm going to throw the question at you again.
Yes, since the court has made a pronouncement on that, since the court made a pronouncement on that, as we speak, currently, it is the court's interpretation, and so that the State House of Assembly has no jurisdiction to hear the matter. That's the State House of Assembly that vacated them from office in the first place. So, as we speak now, so they remain in office until Superior Court so holds. So, but what you have is, we have a scenario where you have some persons believing that, look, we can interpret the law the way we want. So, and that's why I think that this is like a boy that is on the scrotum. It should be handled with care. And so, for the fact that they are still in the House of Assembly members does not mean that they have the power to also act with impunity.
Right.
And that's why also, even before the court made that pronouncement on the extension of the local government chairman, I said they have no such power. Section 135 of the Constitution only gives the president such power when the nation is at war. You can't smuggle that section into the local government administration law number 2 of River State. It is not possible. So there are boundaries. There are shared powers.
All right.
So that's just that.
Someone says he loves your unbiased insight on the matter of River State, and he's thanking you. That's from Obina. This one says political solution is never a solution to the political problem in River State. Everything will be settled in the court. The political actors have got
the court is never a solution. The court is never a solution to crisis, to political crisis. What you have is not a legal crisis. What you have is a political crisis. Ego is at play. Some persons feel you want to dictate to me. The other one thinks, no, you want to remove food from my mouth. So that's basically what's at play. How can the court settle food? Two people are arguing who owns the food, who will share and who will share.
But like you said earlier, imagine if the 27 are removed from office, for instance. It means that they would have to go try again. Does that not settle the problem?
It means once once 27 are removed from the office, it means the River State House of Government, River State does not have a House of Assembly, because by virtue of Section 91 of the Constitution, you must have at least 25 members and no more than 40 for a House of Assembly to be valid. So that means they will have to conduct another election in the River State for the River State House of Assembly. Who is conducting the election? It is not River State National or State Electoral Commission. It is the INEC that will conduct the election.
Okay.
At that time, before that election is conducted, who takes over the functions of making laws for the River State House of Assembly? Likely the National Assembly might do that.
All right.
So because it has become practically impossible for the House of Assembly to make law. So when you have all of this crisis, why don't you avoid it?
Okay, I've got to go. Thank you very much once again, Liborous Oshoma, socio-political commentator and a Lagos-based lawyer. It's always a pleasure listening to you talk. Thank you.
My pleasure, Canada. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
By the way, to this man.
Oh, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
Thank you.
Oh my. Okay, we'll continue the conversation.
You are tuned in to
Nigeria Info. We'll be